Hey everybody, Tia Torres here. So today on the next episode of Convicts Anonymous, I'm going to be talking about jail mail. Now, I know on a former episode I talked about the difference between jail and prison, and jail being more of a term they use for like county jail or a facility that you're staying in while you're awaiting trial or fighting your case. But the term jail mail is somewhat common to use just for mail across the board. Besides, it rhymes, it goes well together. So, for the purpose of this, we're just going to call it jail mail. Okay. Um, I know a lot of the prisons allow emailing through their specific prison websites, but a lot of people love to write letters, and inmates love to receive them. I'm going to tell you that right now. They love mail call. Um, I kind of feel bad for my ex Tony. He's always like saying, "Oh, did you send me any mail today?" And I'm like, "Tony, I haven't sent you mail in years. Like, I don't write you anymore. Like, stop." So they do look forward to it. Um, but let's go over some guidelines and rules. Okay, so whether you type out the letter, write the letter, however you want to send it, every prison has their own set of mail rules and guidelines. And yes, some of the prisons do put it on their website, but it doesn't always mean they follow the exact rules. Sometimes there can be a staff member in the mail room that's in a bad mood and rejects your mail. But you can start with, going on the website, seeing if there's any particular rules. And some of those can be the following: um, the number of pages you can send, um, the number of photos you can put in an envelope, the color of the envelope. I had a letter rejected because I used a black marker to address the envelope. And that's because these guys get creative. They can, I guess, soak up drug residue in the marker and they can put the envelope up to their face or however it works. But anyways, not that I'm a drug smuggler, just things I've heard. Um, I also had mail sent back because I bought those recycled brown paper bag envelopes, got sent back. So it does depend on the facility. Also, if you're going to send cards, like greeting cards, like stay away from like glitter, little musical cards, pop up stuff, just basic greeting cards. Okay. Um, but again, a lot of this information you can get from your actual person you're writing, because they'll ask other inmates and they'll get the whole, rundown on the rules there. Um, a big one. This is a big one. Okay. Just know that whatever photos you put in the envelope, just assume that like a million people are going to see them. Okay. um, the people that work in the mailroom, they're not exactly like employees that have been like had background checks and been bonded and are on the up and up. They're just regular employees. Sometimes they're the correctional officers if they're shorthanded. So just understand that. I know a lot of the prisons stopped allowing inmates to get nudity, like nude photos from their wives or girlfriends. It was causing problems because mailroom staff was passing the pictures around, and that can cause a fight, right? You know, um, though some of the prisons do allow nudity as far as like magazines, as long as the nude photos are not of your person, so it doesn't cause problems. But just assume, you want to send sexy photos, just they're gonna more than likely everyone in that mailroom and possibly other correctional officers and other inmates are probably going to see them. So just take that into consideration. That's just kind of how it works. Um, Depending on the facility, also kind of determines how fast your mail will get to the intended person that you're sending it to. Um, you know, I've been writing to Tony in Ohio, and the prison that he's at right now, he gets it pretty fast. I'm kind of shocked. Not writing him, excuse me. I don't write him. What am I talking about? I've been sending him literature and stuff. So I don't write him letters. He gets it pretty fast. So the other thing too is you can't send them mail that needs to be signed for. I mean, wouldn't that be great? You know, if they could like have to sign for it so you know they got it. You can send priority as long as there's no signature involved. At least you have a tracking number on it, but that's like what, $5 for a letter? That's a very expensive letter or greeting card. So you know, even our postal system out here in the free world is not flawless. I know in the city of New Orleans, it's all over the news right now. They are having a huge mail fraud problem going on. Okay. We're talking like stolen mail, taking stuff out of the mailboxes and forging checks. It's insane. And they say all the criminals are in prison. So, that's just a little bit of advice and a little bit of pointers on um, sending mail. Also, too, I saw this in another pen pal video on YouTube. Poor sweet girl. She again, she was new to the prison world, but she was concerned because when you send a letter, you put your return address. And she said, well, other inmates and whoever can see my address. Isn't there a way for the correctional officers to take the mail out and log my address in on a computer? And then if the inmate wants to write me back, the correctional officer can address the envelope. And I'm like, let me tell you something. Some of the staff in the mailroom, I wouldn't trust them with my address. So, again, it's like, I mean, I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but we're going to get into this later. But some of the staff and the correctional officers that work in these prisons are not exactly on the up and up. Okay. So it becomes a matter of, who's the real criminal here? But, again, obviously she's someone that is new to this world, because I had to, shake my head and go, no, that's never going to happen. Depending on some of the prisons or which prison you're writing to, I use like the little stickers for my return address. And sometimes we're not allowed to have those because, once again, they can like soak drugs in the glue, whatever. So they'll Xerox my envelope and it goes with the letter. Sometimes he gets the envelope, sometimes he does not. So I do have a legit LLC, a company. So when I send stuff through my company, then he gets everything as is. you know. So anyways, that's a little bit of, let me go through my list here, a little bit of information on sending regular mail to your inmate. Um, Again, if you want more information and more 411 on the prison world, you can follow me on my Patreon page at patreon.com, and you can then search for Convicts Anonymous, and there you will find other podcasts like this, but a little bit more intimate and a little bit of one-on-one with some of the inmates that I keep in contact with, including my wonderful ex-husband who helps me co-host one of my podcasts. So be sure to check it out, Convicts Anonymous on patreon.com. So we'll see you when we're looking at you.